Good evening. Welcome to the November meeting of the Fauquier Special Education Advisory Committee. Thank you to all of you who are here. I want to welcome our newest member, Zach Roberts, who is here for the first time. I think given that this is your first meeting, maybe we can go around the room and introduce ourselves and just quickly tell you who we are. And then if you would introduce yourself when it comes to you, that would be fantastic. Mr. Napolitano? Yeah, since you're over there.
Nick Napolitano, Assistant Superintendent of Student Services. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Kathy Crane, Elementary Language Arts Supervisor. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Whitney Boring, Director of Instruction.
Hi, I'm Amy Chicago, Director of Special Education.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Racy.
Amy Hunter.
I'm Anna Williams.
Elliot Robinson.
Molly Lawson.
And our ever diligent
And
Brandon.
Brandon is our wonderful IT person. for
Thank
special
you.
education.
Very, very important.
So if you want to
Thank
take
you
a
all.
minute. and-
My name is Zach Roberts. I'm a parent of two children at Coleman Elementary School. A professional librarian. I'm the library director of Pimlico Regional Library, north of Richmond. So I'm here as a parent of a couple students, one of which gets services, but I also, as a kid, got them myself. So I kind of understand both sides of the coin. So thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Glad to have you here. Is there a motion to approve this agenda? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? A motion to approve the October minutes. Everyone received them via email before the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any? Oh, that solves that. All right, we have a guest tonight, Stacia Stribling from Formed Families Forward, and Elliot is going to kindly give her his spot so she can be seen on camera. We're glad to have you here. I'm going to let you talk about who you are and what you do and what Formed Families Forward does. So.
Sure. Thank you guys so much for having me. My name is Stacia Stribling. I have worn multiple hats in my time, and so one of the first ones was as a teacher in Fauquier County. I taught at Grace Miller Elementary for about 8 years. I'm also a parent of two children, a eighth grader, rushing it along. He acts like a ninth grader. An eighth grader who is currently at Southeastern, and then I have a daughter in sixth grade who is this year in a very small private school. Both of them have IEPs. But I come to you today as the Deputy Director of Formed Families Forward. So I wanted to tell you just a quick couple things about this nonprofit so that you all know what this resource is, because we are here and available for you all. So we are a family-led nonprofit, and we serve foster, adoptive, and kinship families who are raising children, youth, and young adults with specialized needs. We started as a nonprofit first, and then we've received funding, probably our second year in existence, from OSEP. Under IDEA, we are what is considered a Community Parent Resource Center, CPRC. So you all know PTC is the PTI for Virginia. We are a CPRC. There's not one in every state, so we're pretty privileged that Virginia has a CPRC. And so with CPRCs, they target a particularly underserved population. And so for us, that's foster adoptive kinship. We offer lots of things, and I do have a poster that I'll set up later that you guys can, if you're visual learners, because I know we all kind of take in information. I'm going to be spitting a lot out at you. So you're welcome to grab a photo because it's got great pictures and just a real nice outline of what we do. But I do have some handouts as well. So we provide free services for the community, and those include things like webinars. So we do a lot of webinars on special education, but we also do a bunch of stuff on trauma. Some of our work is on the intersection between trauma and disability, so we've got some great resources on how to do a trauma-informed evaluation and what it looks like to write an IEP that is trauma-informed. Because we do know that in our foster adoptive kinship community, there are lots of kids who sort of experience that trauma who also qualify for special services. So how that looks. We do trainings for different organizations. So we partner with all throughout Northern Virginia with DSS agencies in Loudoun, Fairfax, Fauquier, Culpeper, Prince William, anything else, Falls Church, Alexandria, Arlington, all of those areas. And so we do trainings particularly for resource families, but also for social workers as well, who work with those families. We are very excited because we have a grant right now with the PATH Foundation, and that has expanded our work more into Fauquier County. Under the CPRC grant, most of our work is Northern Virginia, and we know, living in Fauquier, sometimes we're northern and sometimes we're not, and in that context, we're not northern. So the PATH Foundation has allowed us to really expand what we do into Fauquier and Culpeper, and one of the more exciting things is that we are partnering with Fauquier County Public Schools as well, and we are currently running a monthly teacher cohort on trauma and challenging behaviors in the classroom, and helping them sort of rethink what that looks like and how do we look at some of those behaviors through a trauma lens. And so that does, we know, apply to a lot of our kiddos who are also diagnosed with disabilities or who may be on an IEP. So there's a lot of overlap in that work. We have been around for 13 years, so we're not new. And we, as I said, we are parent-led, so we've got a staff of about 6 part-time people, and all of us are parenting children with special needs, and for the majority of us, our families were formed through foster, adoptive, and kinship relationships. So let's see, what else did I want to say? I do have a card also I can pass around. But some of the things that I sent out are sort of an overall what we do. I also sent out a flyer on 2 upcoming webinars that we have, and all of our services are free. So those webinars are open to families, and we've got 2 coming up that are specifically on special education, special ed basics, and getting to know the IEP. And those are on in the evening, 1 hour long. We do record them, and then we post them to our website along with the slides. So if people can't make it, they are welcome to check out our website. It's full of resources. The blue sheet, we also have an online resource directory. So if families are looking for resources, let's say they need a mental health provider, they can go in there and look through, and we try to update that and keep it fresh so they can find things like alternative athletic teams, things like that. So anything is up there. We try to keep that curated so that families can use it. And in fact, this past year, we had close to 35,000 users accessing our online resource directory. So that is one of the most used parts of our website. We do have a newsletter. We currently have over 4,500 subscribers to the newsletter, and we send that out once a month. That gives information about upcoming webinars, and you can go to the website and just click on that you want to be be subscribed to that newsletter. This past year, we have served over 2,000 families and professionals directly. We have trained over 1,400 individuals, and we have done free consultations for 93 families and community partners. So you can also send families to us if they need to consult and need specific services for their children. We will do one-on-one free consultations with them. We do not sit in, we're not advocates, and we do not sit in on IEP meetings. Our model is to empower families to know what to ask for and to have the resources and feel equipped to go do that on their own. So that is what we do. We do have the last flyer I sent out is Learning Your Way. We do have an online free learning management system, and there are courses there that folks can take on special education, Trauma 101. We've got a bunch on OHI. And for resource families, for foster families, it can count towards what you need to recertify as a foster parent. But anyone is welcome to, and that's free of charge as well. One of the areas we're really growing in is understanding fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. That is something that impacts our community. In fact, I've 2 of my children are diagnosed with that. And so we are starting a new offshoot website, FASD Virginia Hub, which is going to help connect families who are raising kids who are prenatally exposed to substances, how they can get resources throughout the state. So that was a lot. I think I covered it all.
The monthly teacher cohort, is that, are there, is that all Fauquier teachers? or-
Yep.
Okay, and how many people do you have?
We have 38 signed up right now.
Wow.
Yes,
At
we
all
did
grade
it,
level?
this is our second, and we have some admin in there too. This is our second year doing that cohort. I think last year we had about 15 consistent, and this year we're up to 38. We do also go to the monthly AP meetings, and so we're doing some quick 30-minute presentations as well with them, keeping them abreast of what we're talking with their staff about, so everybody's kind of on board with trauma, what that looks like, how we should handle it, coming up with plans for those challenging behaviors.
Anything you'd like me to send out with the minutes for this meeting? If you want to just forward it to me. I'll
Okay.
to email those, and that goes out to the larger distribution list.
Great, yes, I can actually send you an email with all of those flyers attached.
Fantastic.
Okay,
Appreciate you coming.
thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions? Thanks.
All right, thanks.
Hey, Marilyn. All right. As I mentioned earlier, Colette got held up at her school. She's an administrator in Prince William. And since she was one of the people who expressed an interest in being an officer, if it's okay with everyone, I think we'll just wait until after the presentations to do that. If there's no objection. All right. I don't believe we have any public comments, so we will be on to our presentations. Before I introduce our speakers, who are old friends of the Seac, I want to apologize because we haven't had a real presentation this year, and I am out of practice, and I did not send an email to the committee and ask for questions in advance to prep, so that you could prep for that. So as questions come up, I don't want to not ask questions, but as they come up, if there's anything that you're just not prepared to answer tonight, please feel free to say that you'll get back, and we can follow up with those next time or get an email out. So I apologize for that. So Ms. Whitney Boring, who is our Director of Instruction for Fauquier County, and Kathy Crane, who is the elementary language arts supervisor, and about 16 other titles, including the person who has the extra clicker that she carries around in her pocket.
Yes, Kathy, thank goodness for Kathy.
And Dr. Brill, who is our Deputy Superintendent, who just
I was
arrived. Thank
prepared
you.
not to be able to present.
So.
Prepared for technology. Always.
And then also, we're going to be talking later about Tier 3 reading interventions, and Ms. Gum is going to do that piece, because this all kind of
It's all embedded.
fits
and we
together.
get to that
Fantastic.
part.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you all so much for having me. I'm Whitney Boring, Director of Instruction. So I believe the last time Kathy and I had the pleasure of attending Seac, it was in the spring of last year. And so implementation of K-3 is what was happening at that point in time. So a lot has changed at a rapid rate. We are in full-blown implementation mode with Virginia Literacy Act. So what that means is we've now implemented in grades K through 8. So tonight's presentation will focus mainly on the 6 through 8 portion of that, since that's really what is new to us. We've gotten a lot of new guidance that's grades 4 through 8. So that's what you'll see tonight, but we're really crafting it to what's going on in our middle schools currently. Okay. All right, so with the Virginia Literacy Act, students who have scored basic or below basic range on their spring reading SOL scores were required for 2 things. They were required to participate in our VALS screener, as well as to have a student reading plan on file for the 25-26 school year. And so our first VALS window actually took place throughout the month of September, where we were able to successfully test all of those students, and in the process now of student reading plan creation. some interventions that are provided at the middle school level look like they can be from instruction from a reading specialist, IA, special education teacher, if the disability matches what the student reading plan has indicated, language arts teachers. We are fortunate in many ways at the middle school level, I would say more so than the elementary, with the structure of our master's schedule. We had some remediation time that was built into that schedule already, which has allowed us to be able to really utilize that time for these different intervention opportunities that come along with student reading plans. So our middle schools specifically have an embedded mascot time. And they all call it something different, but at the end of the day, it's really about their mascot. And that runs about 15 to 30 minutes at some point within their school day, as well as academic focused seminars, which are the same amount of time as a class period, where students can, typically students that have failed a previous SOL or are in need of remediation can sign up for this academic focused seminar class where they are provided that remediation from a language arts teacher. So in terms of our implementation and what is in our division literacy plan, so we were fortunate in that the core curriculum that we had been in the third year of using, which is HMH into literature, was actually on the state's approved list. So we didn't have to adopt a new core curriculum. We were able to utilize one that we have already had in practice. We utilize an approved. And I will preface this, that all of these supplemental and intervention programs have to go through a state approval process. And there is a list posted. So all of ours are from that approved list. So our supplemental material that is in use is IXL. Our approved intervention that is in use is Lexia Power Up for grades 6 through 6 through 8. And then approved Tier 3 SPED interventions can consist of the following based upon the levels. So we have Read 180 for our middle schools. Lexia is then utilized at the high school. We have UFly, Linda Mood-Bell, M-Class in our elementary schools. And all middle and elementary special education students also have access to Lexia 4.5 or Lexia Power Up in addition to specially designed instruction. So we offer Lexia for the elementary students as well as for our middle school students. Along with the Virginia Literacy Act comes student reading plans. And so reading plans are built off of year-long goals that take into account a body of evidence. So that could consist of our MAP growth assessments. In language arts, it's the VALS screener results that came from the September window, SOL strands from the previous spring testing window, and curriculum-based assessments that can take place in class. So all of these things come together as a body of evidence for us to determine a student's weaknesses, so where that can be structured out within the year-long goal. Instructional targets are also written and individualized to our student needs that align with that year-long goal. And then our target dates are flexible, but we have built them around our instructional calendar, so at quarter end dates. So student reading plans by the state's guidance have to be reviewed and updated 3 times per year. And that goes into alignment with not only our VALS window, which will take place, like I said, in September. We have the fall window, we'll have the winter window in January, but then that also is built off of our quarters within the instructional calendar. Intervention and progress monitoring details are also clearly outlined in there. So within our student reading plan document, there is a place for all of that information to be updated 3 times throughout the year, as well as for longer portions of the narrative that take place. In terms of communicating this with our families, obviously this is a new process for our middle schools. So we have taken advantage of a lot of the state documentation that the state has provided us to utilize. So in September, families of students that were to participate in the VALS, again, because of the required failing of the SOL the previous spring, received an information letter just expressing to families what the VALS was and what they were going to be tested on, and to why they were doing it. We also utilize the BDOE template, which is a family invitation to participate in the student reading plan process. So this was a letter that was provided to our families in September. Template was given by the BDOE. Our schools put it on their letterhead and gave that out to our families. So we have had quite a few families, and I just checked in with all 4 of our middle schools. We've had quite a few families take advantage of this. And so really the step 1 was families that did want to be a part of that process returned the form to the school. The reading specialist in that school reached out to the families to coordinate a meeting time frame or to have a phone conversation with that parent. So a lot of phone conversations were happening throughout the month of September. Families, student reading plan explanation letters will go home this month once the reading plans have been finalized. They are still in draft form at this point in time. They were in draft form intentionally for our November 3rd parent-teacher conferences so that parents that were able to set up that meeting with a team of teachers, reading specialists, whatever that looked like in our specific schools, they were able to work through any changes that needed to be made to have the families be a part of that process. So student reading plans are designated to be finalized by November 21st, where the explanation letter and the formal final plan will go to the families. Finalized plan goes home to the families. Like I said, that date, the finalizing date is November 21st. And then we are utilizing a new feature this year of our student information system that I'm pretty excited about, and I think there's obviously some more opportunity to explore it, but it's a forms feature that's located in our SIS. And so what we're able to do with this is we're able to make our student reading plans go live to our families, which is a nice feature for us to have. So, and I think we can build upon this in years to come. This is obviously a starting point for us to learn as we go. But Parent View in Infinite Campus, it would be the same login process as completing the OLR. A lot of times in middle schools, I know one middle school in particular utilizes Parent View for access to report cards, while other schools will print report cards and send them home. So our parents at the middle school level are becoming familiar with Parent View, but essentially you can utilize those same credentials to log on through Infinite Campus as a parent, and you're able to then access your child's schedule, you're able to access a PDF version of the report card, and you would also, once everything has gone live after that finalizing date, you would be able to access your student reading plan. Okay. Questions?
Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation, very informative. How many students were identified as needing a reading plan through the selection process, and then how many of them took the school system up on the additional pull-out services or services?
So we have, on average, we have approximately 30%, and this is on average, 30% of a middle school population qualify for student reading plans. So some of our schools are a little bit smaller than that, around 20%, and some of our schools are larger than that, around 45% of that school population qualify for student reading plans. So it is a rather large number,
Yep.
I would say, for the first year of implementation. And what was the second part of the
Were you
question?
expecting that large of a number? Was there an expectation going in?
We really weren't sure what the state's guidance was going to be for grades 4 through 8. I think we envisioned it being modeled more so how K-3 was, and that was really based off the VALS screener. So students were screened and then determined on, based upon the weaknesses that were demonstrated within that. Then the next step was a student reading plan. So I think we ourselves were a little surprised when that 4 through 8 guidance came out and it was determined that any student that failed an SOL the previous spring was automatically getting a student reading plan for the 25-26 school year. So it helped in regards to us being able to know a concrete number once we did get that information, which it was late in the game for us for planning purposes. So that element of it was helpful, but it was a larger number, I think, than we anticipated, yes. So.
And it's
a whole
not
troop
optional.
of people from their office as well as ours to help schools with this large task of doing those screeners, and everybody stepped in and did a wonderful job to help.
Yeah, and that was very, very helpful. We had a team of division employees that went around to our middle schools, because I think in our elementary schools, you know, they're not new to this process, right? In our middle schools, they were very much new to this process. So it was important to us, I think, as a Department of Instruction and a special education team to come together and to provide those supports to our middle schools, because we are talking significant number of students that are going through this. And we only had 25 days to do it.
It's a very limited amount of time.
So quite a few.
That large number that we're discussing, is that, I'm a little unclear, is that students that did not pass the SOL in the spring combined with also taking vows and being in the high-risk band, or not necessarily
So
in the high-risk band at all?
4th through 8th grade do not have a wristband. K through 3
Only,
are
yeah.
identified as having a high, moderate, or low
The
wristband.
systems are a little bit different.
Okay.
For both. So you have the K through 3 system, which is related to bands, right? And the
Okay.
students that scored in the high-risk band are then qualifying for a student reading plan.
Right.
4 through 8 was a little different. It was very cut and dry. If you failed the SOL, you have a student reading plan. And so those are all students that failed an SOL the previous spring that also then require a student reading plan for this year.
So but there was no other criteria for you?
To
just
Mr.
the-
Roberts' question, this isn't a parent opt-in
Yeah.
thing, this is state mandated, you have to have a reading plan, right?
Yeah.
As I
I think
under-
it's being-
But they get services.
The confusion was whether or not the parents opted in to participate in developing the.
Right, as
student reading
opposed to
Right.
the services themselves.
It was an invitation.
plan. Right.
So what, I
Right.
mean, how did,
Yes.
how did that turn out? Like, was it a high rate of
Of
interest?
parent involvement?
Yes.
So I spoke to all 4 schools. I would say we had, you know, one school that I spoke with had over 70 families reach out and want to be a part of the process. Now, those meetings looked different, of course, right? Some of those were phone conversations, some of those were virtual meetings, some of those were in-person meetings. They weren't able to accomplish all of those, obviously, on the November 3rd workday. So they have a set schedule in place where their reading specialist is helping to manage all of that. And then I have one middle school that I reached out to, and it was 1, right? So it was drastically different from school community to school community, but I would say on average, we had about 40 to 70 families reach out. And on average, now granted, comparing our middle schools is like comparing apples to oranges, right? But you had around approximately 120 to 150 reading plans in the middle schools, give or take.
So
depending on-
less than half, basically. Okay.
I'm curious, in my, you know, I may have a unique situation, but I received the first letter, but I didn't receive the second letter, the invitation letter. Were those mailed, or did those go home with kids?
I couldn't
Do you
answer
know?
that question. It depends on the school.
Okay.
Community, but I did confirm with all 4 of our principals that the letters.
And I had a conversation,
Sent
so it
were
may,
sent out.
my
But I don't
situation
know
may have been
what-
different, so I was just curious.
Sorry.
Was that just 6 through 8 those letters came out, or 4 through 8?
It's actually K through 8.
I didn't receive one either. I don't
Okay.
think.
Which, for the school that you only got one answer back from, that
Yeah,
might be worth
I
looking at.
wonder. Does make it-
Do you know what percent of those students have an IEP?
Of the overall, I do not know. I'm more, I have the balance.
Yeah, I was just,
view.
do
Yeah.
do you
I
know?
don't have it.
I'm curious. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Might be hers, too.
We got a spot for you right here, man. Yeah. Very curious.
Is that possible? to
Is
get
there
that?
a way,
ready to
to
go.
get that number?
I'm
Yeah,
ready to go.
just because I think this whole interface, and I know this is all brand new, and it's 99% of it's coming down from the state, and we're all, you know, just trying to figure, the idea that you could do that in less than 30 days is mind-boggling.
It's a
It
task.
was a lot of hard work. yeah.
So, yeah,
On our building.
Our teachers and the staff in all of our buildings, elementary and middle, had a huge undertaking.
And they will again come January. It'll-
So that was my other question. You mentioned the progress monitoring. Will there be progress reports that are separate from report cards that will go to parents? Is there, or is the monitoring more internal? I guess I'm wondering is like, what is the, like, there's an IEP team for kids with IEPs, but for this, is there a reading team for each student? And
How does that
that's
get-
presumably what this invitation was an invitation to participate in this
Be a
reading
part of
team.
that reading plan process, right?
Okay.
To talk through the goals, talk through the objectives, your students' data.
Got it. So what's the next step? Does this team meet on a regular basis and are parents, is the idea that parents would be involved like throughout
Get
the year?
updates.
Or is there a progress
Those
report?
interventions are taking place on a routine basis.
Right.
Because they're embedded into the master schedule of the school, right? So that progress monitoring is taking place. And the way the Lexia component operates is it has the computer-based portion of it, and then it also has the teacher-based portion of it. So as I mentioned earlier, with our master schedules in the middle schools, it has made it nice in that we have 2 embedded times to where students can really receive this intervention. So that progress monitoring is ongoing. And then in terms of actual documentation of it,
Right.
that's happening and embedded into the student reading plan. So we consider those student reading plans similar to how you consider an IEP, right? It's a living document. Now we lock it and we make it go live for parent access. But there's not too much time in between where we are unlocking it to update
update
the
it.
narrative piece so that that progress monitoring can go in there.
So the plan itself will contain the progress monitoring
Correct.
report? Okay, got it.
There's a narrative.
Sorry, that was a long-winded answer for you.
That answers my question. Because with the IEP process, progress monitoring, that's a separate report. So that's helpful.
So parents that didn't opt in will still be able to access through what
Infinite Campus.
the plan is. Yeah.
So hypothetically, if you have an IEP for a specific learning disability for dyslexia, you could have pretty much the same information in your reading plan,
You could.
progress reporting, as well as your.
It's left up to the division's discretion as to what, if the child's disability matches what the student reading plan and the VALS data had to say, then it's up to the school to determine what fits into that child's schedule, right? So and obviously that's an IEP team decision, but obviously if we can fit in more time for the child to receive additional service minutes through the student reading plan, through Lexia,
Tier
as
2.
well as, in
As well as
addition
Tier 3.
what they already have within their IEP service minutes, right? That's the goal, that's the hope, right? But
As long as they
sometimes it
fit
doesn't.
together, as long as,
Correct.
you know,
Yeah.
that fits
In trying to
together.
figure out how they. all
Presumably,
fit
case managers and people, the same people are making these decisions. So, okay, that's very helpful. So in November, by the end of November, parents will be able to see that progress reporting. I love that it's going to be on Infinite Campus.
Yeah,
I love
we're
being able
really-
to access
really
everything
excited
in one
about that.
place.
It's the first time we've ever utilized this feature of Infinite Campus, and
Will it be under
once we got
documents, or where will it be?
It'll be in documents
Okay.
under parent view, so it'll be in the same place as your child's schedule and previous report
Okay.
card. It's just all 3 of them are listed very neatly right there. So it'll be a nice feature.
So if your child, I'm so sorry,
No, you're fine.
I'm sorry, okay. Go ahead. If your child is on a reading plan, then does the reading specialist, should they be in the IEP meeting, or should they be a part of the parent-teacher conference, or where would we interact with this person?
So the reading specialists have actually, at the middle school level, have had a huge undertaking of coordinating all of those meetings where the parents indicated that they wanted to be a part of that process. So they were a part of all those processes or meetings, whether it be a phone conversation, a virtual meeting, or an in-person meeting.
Yeah, but you
They
said
were-
those went out throughout elementary and middle school, correct?
Yeah, yeah. But I'm speaking to.
Just the
I'm
middle
speaking
school?
to
She's
the
speaking
middle.
middle.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm speaking. I've been wearing more of the middle school hat.
I understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Then would it be possible for me to ask a question about an elementary Letters?
I know
Is that-
somebody.
I know them,
Is that what I-
can answer that.
Is that okay? Okay. So this information that just
This is
came-
the letter, the
that-
first letter on the list of letters.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and it came home with all of your, yeah, here you go.
And I got that letter, but I didn't get page 2, and I'm at a different school.
Yeah, so I got on and tried to use the resources,
Okay,
and I tried Alexia Core 5.
okay.
And the website said that I needed to contact the teacher to get the login information if we
For
were
parent,
signed
for the
up.
parent portal?
So I did that, which
Okay.
it also says that down here.
Yes, ma'am.
And my teacher said they didn't know what I was referring to, and the only way they knew how to get through was through their class link. But I don't know anything about any of that. So it was, I still don't know how to get
So
through.
I do know from personal experience of having children in middle and elementary school, you do have, anytime you want to utilize these things, because we as a division have rostered it through Class Link,
Yes.
is what it's called. So you have to go to the Fauquier County webpage, and there will be a place where you can go to Class Link, but you have to log in with your child's credentials.
And who gives those to you?
I think the school can.
Yes, the school
Yeah,
can give you that.
yeah. Do they
So
use
if that's-
QR codes anymore? They used to bring home a QR code where you could scan, but.
If not, that's something that we can definitely make sure.
We need to send out an update reminder of
Yes,
how
ma'am.
it works
Okay.
and
Absolutely.
definitely what they can do. And then also maybe clarify down here with the parents. I mean, because I don't.
You assumed you would be able to
I mean,
scan the QR code
there was
and go to
nothing in
the-
here that even really explained it to me. Now, maybe I didn't read it right, but I did not see where it said to go to ClassLink or to that Fauquier page. I just downloaded this QR code.
Okay.
So that QR code there is to give you information on the program, like an overall information
You
from the
can't-
actual product website.
The
If you
product is
actually wanted-
on the ClassLink.
If you actually
Yes,
wanted
ma'am.
your child to log in and use the product, which it
Were you
wasn't
able to
really the
learn
intent
something
of
about
that
Lexia
letter.
there?
This was just to
Then you would.
give you an overall
Yeah.
information about
Of
what
what
the
the program
program,
was.
what that is.
Okay.
So if you want to see your students' data or talk to your student's teacher about that, they should be able to talk to you about that individually.
Right. On the Lexia, on the ClassLink for their individual.
That's right, then your student should be able to log in.
But some
via-
students may have, some students may not tell their parents those things.
Yes, ma'am. What I wrote down is clarify how to log into ClassLink, parent portal, QR code, so I made a note of that. So
Okay.
I promise we'll follow up with that and take
Yeah.
care. Appreciate the feedback.
No, yeah,
Um,
absolutely. I was just completely confused, so I
I'm glad you
appreciate it.
shared that. I'm sorry you were confused.
That's okay.
but I
I'm
appreciate
glad that
you
I
sharing
looked it
that.
up before this meeting and you were here. That's just wonderful. Thank you.
I can give you this back too.
Oh, yeah.
I have it.
Okay.
Sure. Well, and hopefully, there are a lot of moving pieces here, so hopefully we can provide you some feedback that's useful in
There
your
are.
planning.
It's been something really special the last couple of years.
It keeps giving, the gift
Yeah.
keeps on
The
giving.
VLA. I keep looking for a math act, but they've not yet done that. I just-
Ms. Bourne, before you shut that down, I'm so sorry. I was going to ask if you could go back to the slide that has the tier 3 interventions. Did you have questions?
I did have a question regarding.
We may not need the list.
I don't need the
Okay.
list.
Never mind.
But I had a question regarding progress monitoring within the student reading plan. If a student is not making progress as expected with that student reading plan, is there a division threshold that we're looking at referring for evaluation for special education? At that-
Could quite possibly be. So they're viewing those, and as if with anything, that's kind of like your RTI intervention, right? If you're not making the progress, and you're seeing that over a period of time, then yes, that team, the next piece would be, do we suspect a disability? And if we do suspect a disability, then there would be the conversation with the parent, and we could move forward with that, yes.
Okay.
So do you anticipate that happening kind of after this first November cycle?
Oh, yeah,
that you-
definitely.
okay.
We've got to get some interventions going,
Right.
collect that data to see, is it making, and then what does that progress look like?
Are they keeping track of the kids like that? Are they keeping track of how they're like a plan? Like in our, like where I am, we do like a MTSS plan, and we're putting in data for the kids after these assessments. Is that what's
Yeah, the
done
data
here?
is
Okay.
embedded within the plan.
Okay.
So, yeah, and they're looking at them 3 times a year
Mhm.
to see what that looks like.
Okay.
Also, Ms. Gum, can you just clarify, because I think this is one of those the questions out there. If a student has tried the interventions that are here, that are on the state-approved list, and they're not meeting the needs of the student, the IEP team still has the ability to make a decision about something that's meets the needs of the student, whatever that might be.
Sure, it's IEP team decision. to
So
figure that
that's,
out, yeah.
the state law doesn't trump
No,
IDEA.
state law cannot trump IDEA. I mean, they're supposed to get meshed together to support it,
Mhm.
but ultimately, at the end of the day, that IEP team makes what's best decisions for that child. Correct.
Another question.
Yeah, no, go, and I know, I mean, it makes sense because this is the area that's why you're here, so.
Given that the VLA is explicitly for kindergarten through grade 8, and we're seeing these larger than expected numbers in the middle school level, what do we have in place to monitor from 8th grade moving into high school then, and keeping an eye on the kids that, let's say, in their 8th grade spring didn't pass their reading as well?
I suspect, just my suspicion, so the state did K-3, right?
Right.
Now they've done 4-8.
Think that's coming?
suspect it's coming. That's why we went ahead with funding through the SPED office and bought a intervention that's on that list for the high school level. It has taken a while. We have just now purchased it. Now we're trying to get high schools to give us names so we can begin that process, because I suspect it's coming. And there's no sense in waiting. We're already at this piece. Let's just keep going with it. So yes, I suspect it will be, just my opinion.
For a time, the school of thought around students who had fundamental reading problems in high school was, you reach a point where we just have to accommodate. We're not going to continue to try to teach reading at some point. And while you have to accommodate, I think, courts frankly have been clear, like, you
It's twofold to that,
you can't just stop teaching reading. So, and there are reading specialists at every high school now too. Is that correct?
We have a vacancy at one of the high schools.
But there are positions at all the high schools.
Positions, yes, yeah.
And that's fairly new, isn't it? Have there always been reading specialists at high school?
A couple of years, I think.
Okay, but since Virginia Literacy Act, this is not a.
Before then.
Okay.
Yes.
Before then.
When do we anticipate the rollout to the high school age?
I have no idea.
Okay.
That would have to be a state.
Okay.
A state rollout, and as you said with the others, we get them last minute, here you go, you need to do this within so many weeks, so.
Okay.
Yes, we just received guidance on how to write the 4th through 8th grade student reading plans today.
Do.
Geez.
This week, they just posted. And so, it did come out a couple of weeks ago, but we've received another update today from the BDOE. And so, we're just using the guidance that they give us and doing the very best that we can, because our timeline doesn't always align with the
Sure.
BDOE's timeline. But
So will there be VALS assessments every quarter? You said the VALS window.
So there'll be one more window in January for grades 4 through 8, just one more.
Okay.
For K through 3, there will be 2 more. So
During the
there's
school
3.
year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll do a winter window, and by window, it's just, you have a set amount of time that you have to get all of your students assessed. So that is in January, and then I think the spring session is in May, is that correct?
It's the end of April, goes April into May. So it's very tricky because, of course, we have SOL testing. We have the growth assessment that we're mandated to give. There's a lot.
Oh, yeah, and instruction.
Oh, wait, can we do that?
Yeah.
We're basing
I like having a studio audience.
Yeah, that's good.
I have to be more careful. I just need to be,
Yeah.
but the fundamental difference as far as who's in and who's out is that in the upper level, that's determined by passing the SOL. Which may make the whole VALs, that makes it make sense. Like the spring SOL is going to determine whether or not.
Correct.
They
You ha-
continue
you
on
have-
the student reading plan.
Well, does it? If you have a plan and then you pass the spring SOL, are you
The
It
plan
applies
home
is
to
free?
1 year. You have.
12
so-
months?
You have a one-year plan.
So this, you'll have 1 year for a
Okay.
student reading plan, and then the kids will take the SOL test in the spring, and
Right.
that will determine what will happen next year.
Okay, so
If
if they pass, then
they're out.
we move forward. We move
Right.
on. Okay.
That's the goal.
That's it.
That's the goal. It's the state's goal.
Right. And if they're a student with an IEP, then they may also be getting services in that regard.
Right.
But they would not be getting the tier 2 services the following year.
We don't know what the pass rate is going to be until we get to
That
the
is
spring.
true.
Right.
That is very true.
Whether it's going to get worse or
Will,
hopefully better.
is the growth assessment, because there's another growth assessment coming up, right?
Yes, ma'am, in December, there's a window.
And that's
For
fairly
math.
similar to what would be on the SOL? Like, will we have an idea about whether or not?
There is a way to use the MAP growth assessment data to determine, there's a predictor.
Likelihood.
Yeah.
There is a predictor in there, yes, ma'am, there's a report.
Okay. Well, this is exciting. Can't
Yeah.
wait to hear. Fingers crossed, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because we,
We're doing great
Intervention.
things, and I think the really amazing thing is partnering with Angie's office. I mean, we've really, we meet weekly.
Yeah.
And so that's.
Mind
really-
blown. That's
It's really
great.
important for us to keep those in communication. It's been great.
well, and I'm sure it's a lot easier for divisions that are doing, that you're doing that as opposed to,
Our worlds collide
We-
so much.
You couldn't function in
Yeah.
today with expectations from DDOE without it. There's no way.
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
it's fantastic. All good news. Any other questions or questions for, yeah, no, go.
Last-
You ask as many as you
So,
have.
and I think I heard that the reading specialists are the ones implementing the extra instruction, the 2.5 hours additional instruction. Is that what's happening, or is that?
We want- Okay, so
Dependent.
for kindergarten through
Okay.
third grade, yes, that's required by EIRI, which is the Early Reading Initiative, and that is the 2.5 hours of additional instruction. For 4th through 8th grade, there is no time limit.
Okay,
The state did not put mandated
Set.
time. Yes,
No,
that's
okay.
correct.
And
And
is
it-
it only for reading specialists? Or
Right.
is that
And so
instruction
in
from
some
a
cases,
variety?
reading specialists, instructional
Or provide-
assistants, may provide that as long as they've had the training or they work.
that was my next
Yep,
question.
yep.
They work alongside with the reading specialist. A lot of our reading specialists in elementary will work with every kid. It just might be every couple of weeks. So our reading specialists are instrumental in making sure that they're guiding the instructional assistants and making sure that they're providing feedback and knowing exactly where our students are and how they're progressing.
So everyone that's providing the instruction has been either trained or certified in the program that they're providing.
Yes, ma'am, we're using Spire, our reading specialists are using Spire. So, and it's been great thus far. It's similar to IMSE, so there's a lot of multi-sensory work, and our reading specialists have provided a lot of positive feedback.
This is elementary.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. K-3.
K through.
Okay.
Some 4th, 5th, if there's time in the day. There could be a lot of students that need intervention, and so depending upon a reading specialist's caseload, depending upon whether or not they can serve for them.
But Spire is a
Yes,
K,
ma'am,
K3, or elementary. And then what, are we still using IMSE for training anyone on IMSE?
IMSE is not on the approved list from the VLA, sadly. It's never made the approved list. We can use the methodology, we can use materials, but we are not allowed to use their scoping sequence nor. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right then. what, for members of the Seac, what do we, I mean, there's so many things happening and changing. What do we want to know next, or what would you as a committee want to know next and when? I mean, I'm very interested in what
Like an
happens.
end of the year update would be great.
Or do you
I
want
think
one?
if there's any
In the
follow-up
fall.
coming up from the state would be the
Yeah.
next piece.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you want to hear it after the testing in the spring, or?
I would definitely be
Oh,
interested to
yeah.
see
Oh,
Which
oh,
would
yeah.
probably be.
The piece is gonna be, it's gonna remain what it is today until we get a follow-up from the state. So if
Right,
we don't
which
get a
presumably
follow-up
you'll
from the
keep us
state-
posted if
yes,
they're
we don't get a
new.
follow-up from the
Right.
state, there's nothing new, but I will keep you guys posted as we have our monthly meetings as part of my
That'd be great.
report, if there's
Okay.
something coming up.
That's
Yeah.
good.
If there's
That's
nothing
great.
come up, there's nothing, you'll know that we're exactly where we were today. Okay.
Great.
Is there any way to get informational statistics about, if we know about, on average, 30% are being affected? Can we, once they do the next testing, can we see if there's any change in?
Yeah, we'll have that.
Okay.
Well, and we're going to also find out how many have IEPs, like what
Right.
percentage have
Right.
IEPs.
And all that, okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for taking the
Thank you.
time
Thank
out
you.
to do this. Really appreciate it. All right. And if you wouldn't mind emailing your presentation, I'll send that along with the minutes as well. Reports and announcements. I'm going to, under old business, I'm going to talk about my conversations with the Gifted Advisory Committee, but other than that, I don't think I have anything new to report that's not somewhere else in the agenda. Let's go.
Okay. Mr. Spar was not at work today, so I do have a few notes from him, and that's the same reason Victoria's not here. She was not at work today. He has, working on the fair, and he sent out the Undetermined Summit information yesterday to the high school department chairs.
Great.
I will send to Mrs. Eland today to post. And he said, I have one other item, but want to run it by me before we talk. Not sure what he's talking about because he was sick today. So whatever that is, we'll present at next meeting,
Okay.
okay? So-
Cool surprise for
so,
everyone.
Yeah, it surprised me too. I'm not sure what that is.
Okay.
We'll see.
Do we have any teachers going to I'm Determined this year? The JMU I'm Determined? Do you know?
That I don't know. I can look into it.
Just because it's an incredible program. It's an incredible week, so if anyone can get plugged in. I don't know what the time frame is for registering, but.
It doesn't happen until like June or something, so you.
Right, but they just opened
So
student
the window.
registration,
The
so
window.
I don't know what the time frame is for
Oh, okay. I
faculty,
think
but
it-
it's
Yeah,
yeah.
I would say it's probably early spring.
it's worth sending people to
Yeah,
that.
we've had people, I think we've even had school social workers
Okay, yeah, it's
attend that as well.
Yeah.
especially anyone who's doing transition stuff. I mean, if
Yeah,
Mr.
well,
Spar
Dean's
hasn't.
been all in that and
Yeah.
everything, so,
Yeah.
But, I mean, you
Sure.
kind of have to see it in person. It's pretty
Mhm.
overwhelming. Mr. Napolitano, do you have anything that you want to add? I'm sorry, is that everything?
No,
For
that
you.
was just Mr. Spar.
Did
I
you have-
mine.
No.
No, Ms. Gunn will give her report on it.
Anything?
Quick,
No, I have mine.
Oh,
Yes,
I'm
I
sorry.
can. Yes.
I get it.
You can
You were
ignore me
giving the
if you
Parent
want.
Resource Center report. All right, I apologize.
Okay, not a problem. Just want to let you know, we're working on our December 1 count. That will be coming up quite soon. We've been very
The bird
proactive
count?
with that this year to make sure that we're ahead of the game. It was all new for Victoria last year, and we were working the last minute, and Victoria is very much methodical about things, so I feel confident it'll be better this year. Just to let you guys know, as a committee here, we did, there was some extreme shorting, staffage shorting for one of the level 1 programs at the elementary level. And due to that, we have closed that program. Children will be going to the same type of program at another school, but the staffing, it was just impossible. So I just want you guys to know, in case it comes about to you, all parents have been contacted, everything is good, set to go. But we had to, just due to the shortage, we couldn't provide what we
What
needed
program,
to.
what
It was a
program?
level 1 ASOL program. Okay, so I just want you to know in case it comes out from there. We'll continue to support our inclusion plan each month. I meet weekly, but each month we talk about our new topics for the inclusion. The supervisors take it out to the APs, to their monthly meetings, and continue to move through that. We continue to work closely with TTAC. So TTAC actually is piloting one of our middle schools with support for specially designed instruction. And we utilize them over the summer, we're utilizing them now. We're actually even utilizing them for an FBA training because the state came out with a new procedure document for FBAs and BIPs, and they're doing a training in January. So the team that I have that includes more than just special education, we're planning to go to that training. So everything that TTAC has, we are part of it. We're best buds with them at this point.
Great. Now, are you just primarily working with George Mason?
Yes,
Okay.
that's where we're supposed to.
Right.
That's where our
Right.
focus goes to. Yep.
Okay.
And then the last thing was I attended a Virginia IEP webinar this morning, and they were talking about a couple of different things that was really targeted to special education directors. They're going to be sending out a survey soon in regards to what are we looking for AI to look like for our SPED teachers on the purpose of IEP training. I knew it was coming. We were waiting. That's why we didn't want to go with anything else. Survey's going to go out soon, and they'll take the information from that survey to figure out where AI may fit into Virginia IEP or not. So that was interesting. And then the second piece of Virginia IEP, it'll be a slow roll because it's going to be very different, but there's a progress tracker in there that can track all of your data, which makes sure that your goal is really written the way it needs to be written. But it will all be in there, and it will be able to provide the graphs and things for parents to see what that looks like, and it will be a part of your progress reports. There's a progress tracker. So anytime you're collecting data, instead of having all of these other places, it's right there. So it'll be a work in progress, but we will move forward slowly with it and get ourselves where we need to be with it.
That includes BIP data?
He didn't say anything about that. I'm not quite sure. Don't know. I'll have to look into that for you. They just kept talking about the IEP goals and objectives, and they may not even have gotten to that piece yet. They may roll this out and then talk about for the behavior plan data. Okay? But I'll keep you informed with what I know from them. That's all I have.
Well, it may make you want to have a behavior goal in there to track that. All right. Sorry. Sorry to have cut you off before.
No problem.
All right, old business, collaboration with the Gateway Advisory Committee. That meeting was held. I spoke with Ms. Rostarski. They are very interested in doing something on 2E learners. They were concerned about who's going to pay for it. But, well, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. I think their timeline, they only meet quarterly, so I think their timeline was looking to maybe do something in the fall. Since then, I was at a forum at Kettle Run, and several parents were expressing frustration at kids who were wanting to apply to more selective schools, needing to get an earlier start on the whole process of applying to schools and that whole visiting schools, just all of those things. And that made me think that dealing with accommodations, the transition from high school to college and accommodations for national testing, that sort of thing, those are all topics that might be, of interest to parents. And in that case, talking to the governor's school as well and, seeing if there's any interest in kind of pulling something together. So it sounds like we have time, but if there's interest, it seems like a forum or something like that in the fall would be probably a format to do. And then the question is it online or is it in person? And, what does the format look like and who's going to pay for it? So maybe that's something you and I can talk about if the committee agrees that that's something we want to go ahead and pursue. But I think that would be very helpful because I know just personally from my own experience, these are a lot of issues that come up, and parents of those kids don't always get directly involved anymore in terms of their day-to-day stuff. And it gets even trickier when your kid gets to college and they are now managing their own accommodations. All right. The brochure. You know what? I'm going to stop right there because I want to go back. We're going to do election of officers early, and you were not here, so I wanted to wait until you got here. At this point, the following people have expressed an interest in being officers for this school year. If you want me, I'm willing to stay as chair. Anna has offered to continue as secretary. Megan Monahan, who's not here this evening, was our vice chair last year. She has since been appointed as the teacher representative, so that position is open. And Willette Travis has indicated that she's interested in being vice chair. Are there any nominations from the floor, self-nominations, or anyone else who's dying to chair this committee?
You're doing a great job.
Yep.
Thanks so much.
Keep it rolling.
Without objection, then, I would just entertain a motion to elect the officers that have the unanimous slate. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you for your service, folks. Back to the brochure. I've been waiting to update the brochure until we had officers. So I will have an updated brochure draft for you all. I'll send it out. I'll probably send it out to you with the agenda for the next meeting, and we can approve that at our next meeting. Have it ready in time to have it the fair, if not sooner. The plan for our next meeting, the December meeting, is to work on the parent survey and get that finalized. I think I sent out an updated draft of that?
Yes.
With the agenda? Okay, good. Just making sure. So please spend time with that and review it and be prepared to really drill down, because by the end of the December meeting, it needs to be done, and we need to also have the plan for how we would like to have it distributed, who's going to be on the committee to review that data, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully we won't have to spend as much time on content as on all those things. And if you have guidance for us about how this all can happen, any of that information would be good to have at the time. For next, let's see, no meeting in January. Do not come. I think it's like New Year's, the day after New Year's or something. Don't come. February, Mr. Napolitano's going to talk about discrimination policy. That came up as sort of one of the big questions with the subcommittee this summer, mostly just like clarification about what the policy is, and then the question, do we want to recommend that there be a separate policy? So just kind of where we're at with that. So that may kind of turn into a more of a policy discussion or recommendation discussion. And then March, we'll do the annual report review. And we'll have that in advance have a draft in advance to look at and do that. And then also the inclusive practices update, although that's kind of been an ongoing process. If we have time to start into policy discussions, we can do that. Then there won't be a meeting in April. We'll have a subcommittee meeting, which any member who would like to participate is welcome to come to on April 2nd to draft the annual report, and then we'll meet in May to discuss and approve that. Disability Awareness Resource Document Update. So this is the document that we've prepared the last couple of years that's gone to school librarians and to anybody who wanted it. It's also been on our website. It's a lot of links, so it doesn't lend itself to printing in hard copy. Given that we have a librarian now on our committee, I really had taken the lead on that the last couple of years, but if you'd be willing to,
Sure.
If you could work on that. The idea was, we've done things like video clips that teachers could use in the classrooms, so we didn't really include anything that was feature film type things, but it was more kind of YouTube awareness type videos. But if you don't have the document, I'll email it to you. I think you have a printed version, which isn't super helpful.
Okay.
And then we can go from there. But that will be to roll out in February in preparation for March Disability Awareness Month. Other than that, I don't have any other business. Does anybody else have any other business? Otherwise, we'll go into the roundtable and you can do announcements and go to the order stuff. Have I forgotten anything major? All right. Well, do you have anything to share with the group? What?
Just a question.
Has anybody followed up on the public comment from the last meeting?
I'm the blank, sorry.
The-
Presentation from
the,
the public
um,
comment?
The issue of PB Smith.
Oh, yes, I met with the parent, and yeah.
Everything's
think
been resolved from
typically-
that?
I don't know if it's been resolved, but she's moving through the processes that she was chosen to do so, and we've had collaborative conversations.
So just, the process for that is when we get public comment, we get a report back that you have taken action on it. Obviously, this involves, confidential
Right.
issues. And then we, as the Seac, need to decide if that looks, well, and I think the survey is going to give us some information about that. Is there a systemic issue that we need to be looking at? So that kind of informs our process.
But also is part of our documentation process, like, to your point, in our minutes to report that,
So, yeah,
to
we
get
can
the
just put
update. so
in
we
Ms.
put it
Gumb's
in.
report that she has followed up with the family. That's-
Yeah, so.
Yes,
We
thank
just
you.
haven't done it in forever, so.
It's good to
but
get
that's good.
public comment, yes. So that's the process, so that
Yes.
there's no specifics, but that you have followed up with the parent on anything that they were concerned about. But no, thank you for raising that, because we do want to get that in the minutes. Once you write that down, do you have anything you want to add? I'm good. Go to the order? All right.
The
I'm-
ARC- the ARC-
Yeah, I was going to say, you better have things
I don't
to
have
report
any
for the
visual
ARC.
aids, but the ARC of North Central Virginia is having an open house, our first open house, in 2 weeks on November 19th at our office.
Thursday?
No, Wednesday.
Wednesday?
From 5 to 7.
Wednesday? This is why I'm not in charge of
And, so stop on by if you want. Our focus for information that night is our programs for adults with disabilities. So we're going to have a few of our young entrepreneurs that debuted at our October Craft Fair, and you can come meet them and learn about the different programs that we're doing to support them, and then obviously just find where our office is, which is the 4th floor, 98 Alexandria Pike. But come on over if you'd like to stop by. We'd love to see you.
We're next door to the DMV.
Yep, high rise next to
Did you
the.
say you have information, like flyers or anything for that? I would love to share it with our parents who have children in the transition program.
Okay, yes, I would
Do
do
you
the
think
flyer.
that would be appropriate?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, let me
Happy
email
to
you
do
the
that.
flyer. I will do that, yeah.
Thank you.
And then we do have a Pictures with Santa event also coming up on December 6th. This is our second annual. Make an sensory-friendly environment where it's from 10 to 1 on the 6th, and you need to sign up for a spot. We have obviously limited capacity, but it was a definite success last year, and we want to build on that and support families for a very personal, Santa experience. So, if you'd
Private
like
room
to-
with Santa.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
time that you need.
We do have a different, in case you came last year, whatever, there is a different Santa this year that may be a little even more engaging, so that should be, that should be good. I mean, it went well last year, but anyway, so we're excited about that. Those will be our 2 events to close out the year, and then our next big event is in the spring, our St. Patrick's Day dance will be coming up, so. Any questions? Thanks.
Me neither.
All right. Well, if there is nothing else, is there a motion to adjourn?
The motion to
Second.
adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
See you next month.
Thank you.